Hi, my name is Carlo. I just turned 40, and here's a few lessons I learned along the way. Health is definitely wealth. If all you're doing is working your butt off every day on your 9 to 5 job or whatever it is that you're doing just to pay hospital bills in the future, what are you doing? So, the second lesson I learned is to always find time to exercise every day. Exercise can be hard, but one way to do it is to incorporate it into your daily life, whether that means hosting walking meetings or commuting via bicycle or just taking the stairs whenever you go up to your office. But it is best to find motivation to exercise. And motivation exercise is easy when you find that activity that you truly enjoy. For me, obviously, that is cycling. When exercise is something that you have to do, it's kind of difficult. But when exercise is something that you get to do, it's a lot easier to go out there and exercise. What you eat has a direct correlation to how you feel. The first time I felt this was when I did the slow carb diet. You can Google it, but basically it means not eating white carbs and not eating refined sugar and having a cheat day once a week. What I realized while doing that specific diet was my once a week cheat day was the day that I felt the worst, physically and mentally. It felt like I had a brain fog. Contrast that to the days when I was not eating white carbs and not eating refined sugar. I felt super focused, had so much energy. So eat healthy. Admittedly, eating healthy is difficult to describe. For me, it's simply avoiding refined sugar, eating more greens, eating more protein, and eating carbs when I'm out on bike rides. Have meals with other people. I was lucky to grow up in an environment where we made an effort to be present around the dinner table. We avoided phones, although I'm not perfect with that one though, but generally speaking, we avoid phones and just try to have a conversation in the dinner table. Treat your attention as a limited resource. If you're paying attention to things that don't matter, like most news, most social media drama, the latest celebrity breakup, whatever, then you are wasting your time and energy. Your attention would otherwise have been better focused on things that are more important. Choosing your life partner is going to be your most important decision. When you've made the right choice, the good times are great and the bad times are easier. But even with the right life partner, relationships can be hard. There are many times when my wife and I did not speak to each other and it only made things worse. So, the next lesson I learned is to speak your mind. Just do it kindly. Use I feel statements. This is a way of communicating how the speaker feels instead of focusing on the actions of the listener. For example, you can use this statement, I felt anxious because I was alone. Instead of, you were late, I waited 15 minutes for you by myself. Feeling statements focus on how the speaker feels instead of the actions of the listener. This helps free the conversation from blame and ill feelings. I once heard Ryan Holiday refer to relationships as a dance. I could be wrong. I tried to find it online, but I couldn't. But this idea resonated with me, and this is how I interpret it. Sometimes you are in sync with your partner, and the dance is harmonious and wonderful. Other times you both step forward and you simultaneously bump heads. Challenges like this can make any relationship stumble, and that's okay. That's a part of life. That is a part of relationships. But as long as you have a dance partner that is willing to show up every day, willing to try again, then you're probably in a good spot. Decide what truly matters to you. Do you want to live a long, healthy life? Do you want to spend more time with your family? Do you want a successful corporate career? Ask yourself, do my daily choices reflect what I truly want? Deciding what matters means that you can decide what doesn't matter. Ignoring the things that don't matter is truly freeing. If you invest in learning new things every day, life tends to get easier. Because the more you learn, somehow the more solutions show up in front of you. It is possible to design your life to match how you want to live. I think a lot of people go through life without thinking about how they want to live. So I think just the idea of being able to design your life how you want it, I think to many people, just that idea can open up a lot of possibilities. Arguing tends to be a waste of time, especially arguing with people on the internet. Although I can't lie, sometimes during vacations, I will go to a message board or a Facebook thread and kind of just argue with people to pass the time. And it can be fun. I usually argue with them about transportation infrastructure. But generally speaking, it's a waste of time. And one way to stop arguing is to be comfortable with people disagreeing with you. And I really think that's a superpower because it allows you to have strong convictions loosely held. In this day and age, just the ability to change your mind is a superpower. Don't put things down, keep them away. I live in a house with 3 kids and there's a lot of cleaning to be done here. So anything that makes life easier helps, and this simple rule has made life so much easier. For me, life is divided into seasons. When I was younger, I had time, I had energy, and I was a bit dumber. But that meant I could work hard on my passions, make mistakes, and power through whenever I was tired. These days, I'm in the season where it's impossible to keep the house clean and raise 3 boys at the same time. Eventually, this season will pass. So I'm gonna enjoy it, messy house and everything. While we feel like there's never enough time, at the same time, it is never too late. Look at my mom. She started running in her 60s and finished her first marathon shortly after. It is never too late to start now. For finances, I've learned the most from a book called Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. You should really read the book, but I had 3 main takeaways. The first one is that as a business owner, you should pay yourself. When I first started a business, I thought of sacrificing my salary in the hopes of growth. So I poured everything I earned back into the business. Turns out that growing a business is difficult if you can't even take care of yourself financially. Second takeaway is always allocate a percentage of income towards profit, even if it is a really small percentage. That way your business is always making money. Hence the name of the book, Profit First. The third takeaway is the idea of allocating your income into specific expense buckets. For example, 5% of your income goes to profit, 50% of your income goes to owner's pay, that's how much you pay yourself, 15% of your income goes to taxes, and 30% goes to operating expenses. This means you will operate your business based on the funds from your income. I've used this method to manage my business and house finances. Another book that had a big impact on me was The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. This book showed me that success did not have to look like a big house, multiple cars, and a huge bank account. When in fact, your success will look different from other people's success. This book gave me a glimpse of how I wanted to live as an adult, mainly having time and location independence. For marketing, I love anything by Seth Godin, but if I had to choose one book or idea, it would be Purple Cow. And the whole idea of the book is that you should create truly unique and remarkable products, because that is the best kind of marketing. There is no shame in asking for help. And to be honest, this is something that I still struggle with. Maybe it's because I'm the oldest in the family. Maybe it's because I've always had this sense of pride, being able to fend for myself. But everyone needs other people. So with that in mind, consider signing up as a channel member. That will help me make more videos like this, and it would really help me out a lot as well. Have an abundance mindset. It means that there is enough for everyone. This perspective fosters generosity, collaboration, and growth. The opposite of this is the scarcity mindset, and this leads to hoarding, fear of loss, and poor decision making. The more things you own, the more they own you. Or if you prefer the Fight Club version,
things you own end up owning you.
It is unbelievably freeing not to be anchored to your stuff, even the bikes. Talking to someone about your ideas is unbelievably helpful. This is my hack for idea generation, finding new perspectives, or simply sharpening an old idea. And to be honest, if no one is nearby, I will use AI tools for this. Because artificial intelligence or large language models are best used as co-pilots. Alright, here's my favorite analogy for AI. When chess grandmasters first faced off against early versions of AI, the human grandmasters won easily. But as AI improved, it surpassed even the best grandmasters, to the point where AI would consistently beat the highest ranked chess players in the world. But eventually they discovered that if you team up a high-ranking chess player with an AI versus another AI, then the Grandmaster AI duo consistently won. So I like to think of AI as a really skilled assistant that makes whatever I'm working on better or more efficient. Learning to write well is so important. It's the one skill I've used over and over and over. And despite what you might read, AI still can't compare to a good writer. Here's another thing I learned from Tim Ferriss. You are the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. It's not originally his idea, but he talks about it so often, so I'm not sure where he got it. When that idea sank in, it was very easy for me to choose which relationships to foster. It is tough to be a cynic. On the one hand, you are almost always right, but on the other hand, you are almost never happy. You don't need to be good at something to pursue it. When I first started this YouTube channel in 2020, I had no idea how to shoot or edit video. No idea. And I just learned along the way, and 4 years later, I have 700 videos on this YouTube channel, and I've still got so much learning to do. Parenthood reveals priorities beyond ourselves. For many people, when they become parents, this can be their first sensation of something bigger than themselves. There are 2 ways to approach this. The less productive way would be to see it as a crutch or a prison. So all of a sudden, you do not have the freedom to do the things that you want to do. The second, more productive and better way to see it is that you are finally free from all the distractions of everyday life. Because finally, all of a sudden, you have a very clear purpose. Kids will do that to you, man. So when you first have kids, you quickly realize that they depend so much on you, right? But the longer I've been a father, the more I find that the kids remind me that I still have so much to learn. So I find that they help me more than I help them. The time with our kids is not as long as you would think. This became very clear to me once I read a blog post from Wait But Why called The Tail End. Turns out that once my kids graduate high school and go to college, assuming they move out of the house for college, we will have already used up 90% of our in-person time. If that wasn't clear, it means that by the time they are 18, most of my time with the kids is gone. Once they become adults, I'll be lucky if I'll see them once a week for a lunch or a dinner. So from waking them up every day, cooking them breakfast every day, bringing them to school every day, all that is gone. So I don't want to take this moment in time for granted. Going outside makes me happy. I can't count how many beautiful days I've started with a bike ride outside. It is the best. And another reason why I love commuting with an e-bike, it just makes me feel more connected to the world to be outside. Be aware of your thoughts. Your thoughts can corrode your mind, or they can open you up to better possibilities. Negative thinkers see hurdles, and positive thinkers see opportunities. Make the hard decisions now that makes life easier in the future. This means exercise now, invest and save now, Learn now and make meaningful connections with other people now. These decisions tend to pay dividends well into the future. No one cares. When I first started sharing my stories online via writing or via this vlog, I was scared. I was scared because I didn't want to be judged, I didn't want to be made fun of, I didn't want to be criticized. And the truth is, especially when I started, no one cared about my story. No one cared about me at all. So if you're thinking of doing the same, go for it and let go of that fear. Breaks are important. I used to think that breaks were just so that I could simply recharge, but it goes much deeper than that. Every time I've had a break, I've always felt like it allowed me to take a step back, see a wider overhead view, and allowed me to see the bigger picture. You never know what new ideas come from breaks. Play infinite games. There are two types of games. There are infinite games and finite games. Finite games have an end with winners and losers. Infinite games are the games where the reward is playing the game. I like to think of this YouTube channel as an infinite game. I'm not playing for a specific reward or subscription goal or a view goal, although I do have those, but if they don't happen, I'll probably still be doing the same thing as long as this game is fun. Alright, that's it. Obviously, I can expound deeper on each one of these lessons, so if you have any thoughts about them, let me know in the comments below. Also, again, if you enjoyed this vlog, I write a weekly newsletter called The Villain Diary. You can subscribe over here. Okay, new video soon.